The unwavering commitment of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to fight against economic crimes and corruption in Nigeria has gradually revamped the country's dented image as a den of corruption. This feat is as a result of years of toil and sweat. You can be part of the struggle by shunning all forms of economic crimes and corruption. It's another beautiful Wednesday evening, people, and welcome to the last edition of The Eagle in 2014. My name is Aisha Gambari.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
A Chinese company executive, Liu Zuhi, has been declared wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in connection with an alleged case of conspiracy, bribery, and embezzlement of funds. Also to come, Justice Oluwatoyin Ipaye of a Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja has convicted and sentenced one Benjamin Shegun Bright to 63 years imprisonment without the option of fine. And on our special focus segment, we shall be bringing you a review of some of our activities on the Eagle in the year 2014. Please stay tuned as the program continues right after the break. Don't go away.
For me to buy correct motor, for me to take neck my door, Maga don't need pay. Maga don't need pay.
Reminiscing as I walk to my car, thinking about how it used to be. For Ekuma, I did ride Okada, and most times I did so carry. I wanted to change the way I live, but I didn't have to do those things. Now I'm rolling VIP, and all the girls wanna be like me. Yeah.
You ask me how I deal with my reality. Gotta tell you truly, it ain't easy now. I feel the pressure to find something wrong to do. Then I remember you reap what you sow. Now I'm sitting staring at the screen of my computer, thinking really hard about what truly matters. What's with all this data? Just to catch a maga. He could have been my father or someone else's brother.
For me to buy correct motor, for me to take neck my door, Maga don't need pay.
First on our lineup today, a Chinese national, Li Zhongyi, who was until recently a deputy manager at Sanju Sunny Nigeria Limited and China Railway Engineering Nigeria Limited, has been declared wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in connection with an alleged case of conspiracy, bribery, and embezzlement of funds. Kamil Gebi has the report.
Zuhi is alleged to have connived with 3 other suspects to defraud the companies Sanju Sunny Nigeria Limited and China Railway Engineering No. 3 Nigeria Limited of funds running to millions of naira. Zuhi is alleged to have defrauded the companies by claiming money in naira and foreign exchange in the pretext that they were payouts to bribe officials of various Nigerian agencies, state governments, and banks. A number of suspects in the scam have been quizzed by the Anti-Graft agency, but all efforts to track the 32-year-old Zuhi have been futile. The suspect, who hails from Gongqing region in China, was a signatory to all the transactions. The Anti-Graft agency gave the suspect's last known address as Chinese Quarters, Olusegun Oshoba Hilltop Estate, Abeokuta, Ogun State. It also urged anyone with useful information as to his whereabouts to contact its offices in Enugu, Kano, Lagos, Gombe, Port Harcourt, and Abuja, or through these numbers: 09 904 475 1, 2, and 3, 080 93 322 644, 081 83 322 644, 070 26 350 721 3, and 070 63 507 24 5, or through its email address at info@efccnigeria.org or the nearest police station and other security agencies. In another development, Justice E.S. Chukwu of the Federal High Court, Maitama, Abuja, has adjourned ruling on the extradition proceedings brought by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation against former Managing Director of the Nigeria Security Printing and Minting PLC, Ihia Okoyomo, to January 23, 2015. Okoyomo is wanted in the United Kingdom over his alleged role in the bribery scandal involving officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigeria Security Printing and Minting PLC, and Securency International Pty of Australia between 2006 and 2008. In a bid to stall his extradition to the UK for trial over the alleged bribe scam, Okoyomo had in October, through his counsel Alex Ezion, SAN, challenged the jurisdiction of the court to entertain the application to extradite him. Ezion had argued that the 1931 treaty, which the prosecution counsel MS Hassan relied upon, had been repealed by Decree No. 87 of 1996 and was not a law. Hassan had, however, countered his argument, explaining that the 1931 treaty became applicable to Nigeria in 1935 and was never repealed by any enactment, stressing that the Schedule 2 under extradition law provides that, and I quote, "The law shall apply to all Commonwealth nations." End of quote.
You're still watching the program, The Eagle. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned a Lagos businesswoman and legal practitioner, Stella Achebe, before Justice S.S. Ogunsanya of a Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja on a one-count charge bordering on issuance of dot check. Golden Agu has more.
Specifically, Achebe allegedly issued a Diamond Bank check for the sum of 2 million naira in favor of one Daniel Ebino of Lenadibani Nigeria Limited, but was dishonored on the grounds of insufficient funds. When the charge was read to her, she pleaded not guilty. In view of her plea, prosecuting counsel Abosede Oluwabumi asked for a trial date. She opposed the bail application of the defendant and asked for accelerated hearing of the case. However, defense counsel Olarewaju Ajanaku presented a bail application before the court. He argued that since Achebe did not jump the administrative bail offered her by the EFCC, she would make herself available for trial if admitted to bail. After listening to the submissions of counsel, Justice Ogunsanya granted her bail in the sum of 1 million naira and 2 sureties in like sum. Justice Ogunsanya subsequently adjourned the case till February 20, 2015 for trial. I am Golden Agu.
Cheers! What is it? Please, keep to yourself.
Chief Urabo, I got a telephone call.
Anytime I close my eyes,
Yes.
I see dead people chasing me in my sleep.
My Jehovah Magadam.
Is it possible for someone to become restless just because of his past deeds?
Nevertheless, unless you kill somebody dead, then the spirit will be haunted you.
Hey!
Was you all contractors?
I embezzled all the money for the roads that are now death traps, killing people every day. I approved the supplies of fake drugs on pipe on water. I embezzled the money. I dey fear, Chief.
You are supposed to fear a special man that the people of EFCC and chase people who are doing wuru to submit other people's money. EFCC, as soon as they capture them, straight to prison.
Chief,
Jail. How you are? Life are not just about acquire wealth, making money. When other people are getting die of hunger and neglect, be careful. EFCC and watch.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
The trial at the Federal High Court, Gombe, of the former governor of Gombe State, Senator Danjum Magoje, being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on charges bordering on conspiracy and money laundering, has been adjourned on grounds of ill health. The report.
Goje, who is standing trial before Justice Babatunde Kadri, along with 3 others, was not in court when his counsel, Adeni Akintola SAN, requested for the adjournment, citing health reasons. While presenting a medical report, which he said emanated from the National Assembly Clinic as the reason for the absence of his client, Akintola appealed to the EFCC counsel to accept the adjournment because Goje, who is the first accused person in the case, has never been absent in the court and deserves to be respected as the immediate past governor of the state and the serving senator. The EFCC counsel, Wahab Shitu, who wondered that the accused person was healthy enough to attend political rallies but too sick to attend his trial, opposed the application for adjournment, arguing that the medical report was forged. He said the medical report does not bear the name of the doctor that signed it and that no official stamp was seen on it. He argued further that sections 122 and 130 of the Criminal Procedure Act states that when an accused person on bail is absent in court, the surety must appear to furnish the court with necessary information. But in this instance, both the accused and the surety were not in court. The case was, however, adjourned till March 17th and 18th, 2015 for continuation of hearing. Now to convictions. Justice Oluwatoyin Opaye of the Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja has convicted and sentenced one Benjamin Shegun Bright to 63 years imprisonment without an option of fine. The convict was first arraigned on July 10, 2012 by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on a 21-count charge for stealing the sum of 4 million naira from various investors whom he deceived by making them believe that their money would be invested in his purported companies. The convict pleaded not guilty at the point of arraignment. He went through trial and was found guilty on all the 21-count charges preferred against him. Justice Ipaye sentenced the convict to 3 years imprisonment on each of the 21-count charges without an option of fine. The sentences are, however, to run concurrently. Also convicted and sentenced to 10 years imprisonment is one Kingswell Chekeze. Chekeze was convicted by Justice A.A. Akinyemi of an Ogun State High Court sitting in Abeokuta for stealing the sum of over 6 million naira belonging to one Golden Rossi General Merchandise Limited. He was first arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on September 9, 2013 on a 3-count charge bordering on stealing, conspiracy to steal, and issuance of dud checks. Justice Akinyemi found him guilty on the charge of stealing and sentenced him to 7 years imprisonment and another 3 years imprisonment on the charge of issuance of dud checks. The sentence is to run concurrently. It was also end of the road for the fraudster Ibrahim Hassan, popularly known as Comptroller Kengiwa, on Wednesday, December 17, 2014, when Justice DJ Aboki of the Kano State High Court, Kano, convicted and sentenced him to 10 years and 6 months imprisonment without an option of fine in a case of conspiracy, impersonation, and obtaining by false pretense, instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Hassan, who was prosecuted on a 4-count charge, allegedly obtained the sum of over 11 million naira from one Alhaji Balarabe Sumaila in Kano after presenting himself in the company of a syndicate as Comptroller Usaini Suleiman Kangiwa from Zone C, Owerri office of the Nigeria Customs Service in 2007. He told his victim that he had 12 containers of textile materials auctioned by the Customs Service at the Tin Can Port, Apapa, Lagos, for sale. The victim, Alhaji Balarabe, with the convict's accomplices, thereafter traveled to Lagos, where he was shown some containers containing the materials as discussed. Without any scintilla of suspicion, the victim paid the sum of over 11 million naira to the convict for processing, clearance, and transportation of the goods from Lagos to Kano. After receiving the money, the convict disappeared, and all efforts at reaching him and securing the goods proved abortive. Hassan was found guilty of the charge and consequently convicted and sentenced to 7 years imprisonment for obtaining the money by false pretense, 3 years imprisonment for impersonation, and another 6 months for conspiracy. The sentence is to run concurrently. The judge also ordered the convict to make a restitution of the said sum to the victim.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
Welcome back from the reports. Next is our special focus segment with Kamilu Gebi. The segment features a recap of activities in the year under review. Please stay tuned.
As part of efforts at eradicating the country of all forms of economic and financial crimes, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has continued to wage war against all economic and financial crime offenders in the country. In the year under review, several fraudsters were arrested, prosecuted, and convicted for various crimes. On this program, we brought to you reports on all these and many more activities of the Commission. In one of our episodes, we featured the arrest and prosecution of two Bureau de Change operators, Salihul Iman Mahmood and Dang Asabe Ibrahim, alongside two University of Jos undergraduates, Isaiah Friday and Azayo Samuel, for an alleged fraud of over 2 billion naira. The fraudsters specialize in breaking into the computer database of financial institutions in order to carry out dry postings of funds. Arrested for similar offenses are Godwin Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, Evaristus Moses Oyema, and Kenneth Iweha, who attempted to defraud Diamond Bank of 100 million naira through an electronic device called Grabber. They were arraigned before Justice S.A. Mmakama of the High Court of Abia State Umuahia on a 2-count charge bordering on conspiracy and attempt to steal. Pension fraud was not left out, as a former Oyo State Head of Service, Kodirat Adeleke, and 11 others were dragged before Justice Bolaji Yusuf of the Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan for allegedly mismanaging pension funds totaling about 6 billion naira meant for pensions and gratuities of retired teachers in Oyo State. State officials who also got docked are the Secretary to Edo State Government, Dr. Simon Imwekeme, and Chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Joseph Sule Emoabino, alongside other members of the board, namely David Esong Igbinoba, Agbato Gaskin Efe, were dragged before Justice Esther Edigin of the Edo State High Court on an 8-count charge that borders on diversion of the sum of over 100 million naira. The accused persons were alleged to have fraudulently diverted the said sum to a project not covered by the intervention funds allocated by the State Universal Basic Education Commission. Another state official, Alhaji Muhammad Arzika Daikingari, and one Musa Yusuf, who is the managing director, Bill Construction Nigeria Limited, were also dragged before Justice Sabiu Bala of Kebbi State High Court, Birnin Kebbi, Kebbi State, for offenses bordering on conspiracy, obtaining by false pretense, abuse of office, and money laundering. Still on prosecutions, we brought to you a report on the ongoing trial of an alleged serial fraudster, Fred Ajudwa, before Justice Oluwatoyin Ipaye of the Lagos High Court Ikeja. Ajudwa allegedly defrauded a former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ishaiba Mayi, retired, of $8 million, while both were in prison custody in Lagos. And 6 years after Justice Marcel Awokuleyin sensationally struck out all the 170-count charges of money laundering leveled against former Governor of Delta State, James Onanefe Ibori, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, a 3-man panel of justices at the Benin Division of the Court of Appeal ruled that the ex-governor, who is currently serving a 13-year jail term in a London prison, has a case to answer. 7 suspected oil thieves and 2 vessels, MT Surgeon D and MT Rheinfelden, were handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for further investigation and prosecution by officers of the Central Command of the Nigerian Navy in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. The vessel, whose name was altered from MT Maria Brossum to MT Surgeon D, was arrested on March 18, 2014 at Fishtown, loaded with 2,356,000 liters of cargo suspected to be stolen crude oil and 6 crew members. Also arrested by the Nigerian Navy Central Command Yenagoa and handed over to the EFCC were 16 suspected oil thieves and a vessel, MV Maro. The vessel and the suspects were arrested on July 22, 2014 at Agbara, Yenagoa, with substances suspected to be crude oil. And convicted for oil theft by a federal high court sitting in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, were 3 Indian nationals: Sailesh Kumar Singh, the captain of the vessel, Chandrasekhar Sharma, and Ajay Bhatia, owner of the vessel MT Akshay, who is still at large, to 15 years imprisonment for offenses that borders on oil theft. On capital market fraud, 65 years old Mohammed Rabiu Lawan, Raphael Olorunfemi Okomoda and Adegbed's son Theophilus were dragged before Justice Lawal Akapo of the Lagos High Court Ikeja. They were arrested by operatives of the EFCC following a report of the fraudulent sale of shares of two deceased shareholders worth over 141 million naira spread across several blue-chip companies. Also convicted was one Hadiza Mustafa, a former staff of Main Street Bank, to 5 years imprisonment by Justice DJ Abdul Aboki of Kano State High Court. The convict, who was arraigned by the EFCC alongside one Mahmoud Sule on a 10-count charge that borders on forgery and theft of depositors' funds, was convicted on 9 of the 10 counts. Mahmoud Sule was however discharged and acquitted by the court. We also brought you a special report on the activities of rented crowds who besieged courts in solidarity with persons indicted for corruption. Operatives of the Commission also carried out an early morning raid on a suspected hideout of cybercrime offenders in Lagos. 7 suspected fraudsters, who were mostly university undergraduates, were arrested and valuable items were recovered from them. Also arrested and arraigned for cybercrime-related offences was a suspected romance scammer, Jesse Orowo Omoko, before Justice R.B. Akintola of the Oyo State High Court in Ibadan, Oyo State. Omoko was arraigned on a 9-count charge bordering on conspiracy and obtaining the sum of $90,000 by false pretense from an Australian lady whom he met via a dating site. Omoko was allegedly to have fleeced the Australian lady Jetty Jacobs, who is now deceased, of the sum of $90,000 in a romance scam that went twisted. He reportedly met Jetty in an online dating site and forged a relationship with her. Reports showed that Jetty traveled to Johannesburg, South Africa in November 2012. The report also said Omoko left Nigeria to meet Jetty on February 4, 2013, and 5 days later, Jetty was found dead in her apartment. 2 days after the incident, Omoko was said to have returned to Nigeria upon the discovery of the body of his supposed lover in her South Africa apartment. He was, however, arrested in Nigeria by the EFCC after the Commission received complaints from the Western Australia Police about the alleged scam. The Commission also secured the forfeiture of Brifina Hotels Limited to the federal government. The hotel is one of the assets recovered from a police pension fraud suspect, Shuaibu Tedi. The hotel is located at plot 1106, Cadastral Zone B02, Durumi District, Abuja. It's alleged to be one of the properties acquired by Sani Shuaibu Tedi, a former director, Pension Accounts Office of the head of Civil Service of the Federation, with proceeds of fraud. Former state governors were not left out, as the trials of Danjuma Goje, former governor of Gombe State, that of Benga Daniel, former governor of Ogun State, Chimaroke Nnamani, former governor of Enugu State, and that of Kwaidoma, former governor of Nasarawa State, among others, are ongoing at various high courts across the country.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
Welcome back from that review. On behalf of all of us on the Eagle team, we say thank you for your continued support during the year. You're the reason why we are here. We hope you continue to stay tuned to the program. To be part of this program, please send your contributions to info@efccnigeria.org or search for us on Google Plus at Official EFCC or officialefcc@gmail.com. You can also like our page on facebook.com/official EFCC or follow us on Twitter at official EFCC. And to watch our programs and other activities, please log on to youtube.com/official EFCC. My name is Aisha Gambri saying thanks for watching and God bless Nigeria. See you in 2015, God willing. Bye-bye.